Just completed a really fun game of my Jacobite Rebellion rules, Rising of the Clans. And in this particular scenario, and this is meant to be a recap of the battle, but just to give some background, I had 3 brigades of Scots, 2 of Highlanders and 1 of Lowlanders, attacking a camp position held by 2 brigades of government troops. And it was a very, very fun battle. And but the reason that I'm shooting this particular video is to kind of build a case for the use of casualty markers in a game. One of the reasons that I chose Old Glory figures for this particular project in 28mm was because of the fact that they had some really nice casualty figures to complement the line. And so I've invested pretty significantly in these casualty markers, and we'll very quickly, very soon have at least 2 casualty stands for every regiment in my army. And in this particular battle, you can see this field was hotly contested. Here are 2 casualty stands for the 2nd Foot. They made a stand here, and then were completely overwhelmed by the Highland charge. MacDonald of Barksdale and MacDonald of Glengarry kind of overwhelmed them, but then as they came up, a British regiment made a stand here before retiring. Then a 2nd stand was made by the government troops here. The 27th Foot was overwhelmed. On the other side of this field, the 37th Foot, as you can tell by the markers here, were driven back with loss. There was a battery here that made a stand. They were overwhelmed, so you can see that. And so I just it just kind of helps keep track of what's going on in the battle, where the hot spots have been. Here, a stand of the 43rd Foot, the Highland Regiment, made a stand, was driven back. Over here on the other side, we had Lowlanders taking on a brigade. And in this particular action, one of the commanders, Chumley, was killed. And so that's a marker for him, marking the spot where he met his end. This line right here was hotly contested, as you can tell. And you can see the Lowlander casualty figures here. This is the Athol Brigade, and where they took their losses. The 14th Foot tried to counterattack, but then was driven back after losing a stand, and so they're there. And so I just think it adds so much to the game. I'm one who likes to remove stands as losses are inflicted, rather than just kind of wait until they reach a certain point to take them all off. I use dice to keep track of how many losses are on a unit before a stand is removed. So in this case, there's 2 losses. This regiment has 5 per stand, so when it suffers 3 more, I'll take the die away and then take away a stand and then replace it with a casualty stand. And that's been the case with these regiments back here, as you can see. But this one only has 3 because up here they lost a stand. So I have in my 15mm, especially my Napoleonics and Civil War, I also have casualty stands which I use. And again, it just adds a whole dimension to the game that I think is very worthwhile, and which I enjoy. So I'm just trying to make my little case for that. I know a lot of might disagree, the clutter or whatever, but for me, it just helps me kind of, once the battle's over, being able to reflect on where the the real significant action took place. And anyway, so just for your consideration, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.